Hello everybody, welcome to another review. So we're going to be reviewing the brand new album by Megadeth, the self-titled album, their very last album in their career. Megadeth have announced that this would be the final record, and yeah, we are here to pretty much give goodbyes and a send-off to the iconic, legendary band that has had some great records, like Rust in Peace is definitely my favourite one they've done, and they've just had some pretty good stuff as well. Dave Mustaine, who used to be in Metallica, formed Megadeth after being kicked out, and I think it's worked in his favour. At least he's managed to kind of build something that's iconic, like not Metallica level of iconic, but a lot of people who listen to Megadeth probably would know more about him being in Megadeth than Metallica, so he's definitely built a name for himself, and while he's also still holding resent for being kicked out of Metallica. Yeah, he's finally wrapped up Megadeth now, so we're going to go into this new record. Personally, my opinion from listening to this, I was not a fan. I could not get into this album, and it's just mainly down to the writing and Dave's part onto the album, unfortunately. Instrumentally, the album is pretty as decent as a Megadeth album will go. Not necessarily iconic, not the best guitars, not the best drumming, but everything instrumentally is not a bad effort. It sounds like Megadeth, and it does have some good potential and moments, but they don't really utilize the kind of classic sound Megadeth had, and they just don't really bring in anything memorable these days, and I found that to be kind of the major thing. Ever since Dystopia, I've really struggled to find anything that's that catchy or just stands out to me as Megadeth instrumentals go, but it does the job. It's kind of just there to pretty much provide support to Dave Mustaine, but Dave is definitely the biggest downfall with this album, from his vocals being some of the roughest they've sound to the writing being pretty bad for a lot of this. It's definitely brought expectations down. I thought Megadeth could kind of go out with some sort of bang, but instead it just kind of feels like it just goes out with a fizz, and that's it. There's kind of got the "and the crowd goes mild" energy after listening to this record, and it's such a disappointment because I quite like Tipping Point. Not the best Megadeth song, obviously, but it's generally still a decently good song, the one that I still go back into every now and then and think it's got some pretty fun riffs. Dave's not too bad here. It's kind of what I wish more the album focused on, but after Tipping Point on this record, you just nosedive into some of the weakest writing we've heard from the band. I mean, I don't care, probably it's got to be one of the worst songs Megadeth have ever made. I know I said in my single review it wasn't that bad, but I've gone back into it numerous times, and I think it is that bad. It's just got some of the worst lyrics. Most of it is just, I don't care, and then complaining about something. It just kind of comes off with like this teen angst feel. It just feels like Dave Mustaine thinks, oh, this is going to be awesome. People are going to love just how I don't care, I'm just going out on my own thing, and people have respect for me for that. And it's like, I don't see it. The writing on this one just feels awful. Instrumentally, it just goes over my head. It's just one of the worst Megadeth songs I've ever heard, and it doesn't really end there. The kind of weakest parts continue on. It seeps through with the next track, Hey God, which I just hate. This one, it's kind of got the Hey God, it's me sort of feel, and it's so predictable. It's predictable, but it's also not good. So that's not really a good part to go into. Let There Be Shreds, also one of the worst songs as well. I didn't really like this one at all when it came out. I didn't even talk about it or anything, because it's just, I don't understand what Dave was thinking. I feel like he thought this was a fire song, Let There Be Shred, like, oh my god, it's going to be some shredding guitars, it's going to be so sick, but it just kind of plays off as a band that's trying to offer a cheesy version of themselves, and that's kind of how I felt with it. And then going down the line, I just didn't really care for much of the songs. There's a few that I think are actually good, like Made to Kill, one of the better performances from Dave, and also got some good instrumentals I like. And The Last Note, not actually a bad song for the last, like, Dave Mustaine song on here. The reason I say that is because it's not actually the last song. There is a bonus track on the bass record, and it's a cover of Ride the Lightning, which, you know when I mentioned how Dave Mustaine just never lets Metallica out of his head, it just lives rent-free in his head. Yeah, we're still getting that. And I know Dave Mustaine had a helping hand. I'm pretty sure he was around for the Ride the Lightning album, which I will be honest, is my favourite Metallica album. It's the only Metallica album I think is just so damn good from start to finish. And I know there's Master of Puppets, there's some other really good ones as well, but nah, that's my favourite one. And Ride the Lightning is a pretty good song. That being said, with the rough voice of Dave here, it does not do it any justice, and the instrumentals just aren't really as classic or as good as they were back then. It just kind of feels like the song has this weird polish over it as well, that just makes it sound like a really crappier version of an iconic classic thrash metal here. It's just disappointing, to be honest. I don't really understand what we were getting with Ride the Lightning, to be honest. It's just not a very very good cover, but I feel like it should have made sense if the album wasn't really Dave at his best at this point and arguably at one of his worst. Then how would that be a saviour? It's not even one of the better listens, but writing wise at least is actually the best thing written here. It's just a very, very disappointing send-off for Megadeth. Like, I was really looking forward to this and thinking, we've had some kind of crap songs, but I think it could pick up, and it just doesn't. The writing sucks. Dave's voice I've never been a huge fan of, but the fact that his voice sounds rough has just made it even worse vocal performance-wise. I just feel like this is one of the weakest Megadeth experiences, and I'm going to have to give it a 2 out of 5. So I hope you enjoy, thanks so much for watching, and see you next video.